Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today for our Exploring Careers in the Trades virtual information session for young adults. My name is Maya, and I'm joined here today by my colleague Brianna from Work BC Center, West Shore and Souk. And we're also here in collaboration with VICA, Vancouver Island Construction Association, who we have Rory here to present and Jessica in attendance as well. So thank you so much, Rory and Jessica, for being here today. Without further ado, we'll get started here. So just a brief look at our agenda for today. We're going to begin off the session doing an overview of WorkBC employment services. We're going to showcase apprentice services that are available under WorkBC and also touch utilizing WorkBC's provincial resources, construction and in-demand trades occupations before we hand it off to our presentation from Vika. At the end, we will open the floor to questions and comments for an open Q&A, but please feel free to come off mute, to raise your hand, to send a message in the chat throughout. We'll try to get to it right away, but if we don't, we will definitely get to it by the end. And then we'll dive into our Get to Know Your Work BC Center West Shore and Souk presentation. So just to begin here, we always like to start with a territory acknowledgement. Work BC Center West Shore and Souk recognizes the traditional territories of the Esquimalt, Songhees, Sauk, Sianu, and Pacheedaht First Nations on which our offices are located. And we're very proud to provide employment-related services to these nations. Looking at Work BC Center West Shore and Souk's employment services. So Work BC employment services are free and available to all unemployed British Columbians who are seeking employment and are legally eligible to work in BC. There may be some exceptions to this eligibility where employed individuals may also be eligible, such as those who are at risk of losing their current position or underemployed British Columbians with a disability. Work BC centers are located all across British Columbia. The amazing aspect of this is if you do register with one of our centers and you happen to move somewhere else within the province, you're able to have your case transferred. So there's this flexibility throughout the province. And Work BC offers a range of services that help support job seekers, everything from improving employment readiness to finding or maintaining employment. And additionally, any BC job seeker can access the self-serve resource area of Work BC employment service centers. Just a quick look here at our website. So if after this session, you'd like to learn more about any of our services, find our hours of operation, or anything like that, you're able to navigate to this page here. That's how you'll know you're in the right space. And we also have our contact information for our center and the website on your right there. So looking at our services in a little bit more detail, our resource center, as we mentioned, is open to all job seekers. You can use our computers for all your job search needs or access a printer or photocopier for your job search documents. And during this time, while you're utilizing the Resource Center, staff are available to answer any questions you might have or provide assistance. And these services are provided both on a drop-in and appointment basis. Our workshops are another amazing area of our service offerings where we provide these workshops that cover all aspects of job search and job retention in order to support you in achieving your goals. And this covers topics like resume building, career planning, interview skills, as well as our mature workers workshop. Looking at these topics in a little bit more detail, we also have networking to your next job, transferable skills, effective communication, financial literacy, as well as interpersonal and conflict skills. So there's a very wide range of topics to support you in your developing your employment readiness. Our wage subsidy program is a program that's designed to assist unemployed individuals or underemployed individuals in order to enhance their skills on the job. And the way that we do this is by assisting the employer when hiring someone who lacks all of the necessary skills for a position by offering a percentage of their wages for up to 24 weeks. Beyond the wage subsidy program and our workshops in our resource room, we also offer personal employment planning. And this is where we provide individualized sessions where you work with an employment advisor to build your personalized return to work action plan and help you define your path to success. We also have Job Start support and job sustainment services. Job Start is where work clothing like boots, scrubs, tools, or even short courses like food safe and first aid can be made available to those who are unable to afford it. And our job sustainment services, our services provided in order to help you resolve issues impacting your ability to maintain employment. So we can provide on-the-job or in-office support from our job coaches, and they can help you mediate disputes with your employer, learn new procedures, or gain insight into today's workplace culture. Last but certainly not least, in terms of our service offerings, is our job listings and labor market info newsletter. So as a registered client of the West Shore or Souk Work BC Center specifically, you can receive our newsletter job links. And this features a list of local job leads, covers local employment information, as well as employment related events and programs. Once again, to learn more about any of the services that we've talked about today, you can visit our website linked below. In our follow-up email that we send to attendees in the coming days, we'll also link these resources to make them available to you. Please feel free to take a screenshot of any of these pages. And at the end of the session, if you'd like to come back and review any of the information, we can also do that as well. In terms of registering for these services, it's important to understand which services fall under which umbrella. So our WorkBC Employment Services is referring to clients seeking case-managed employment services, so accessing our workshops or working with our employment advisors. Our self-serve resources are for those individuals who are seeking independent job search resources like our computers, our job boards, and our printers. Apprentice services, which we'll speak about more in the coming slides, are for those seeking financial supports while attending apprenticeship training. And assistive technology services applies to those who are either have existing or imminent employment and are seeking assistive technology. To register for these services, you're going to begin by contacting WorkBC. This can be done virtually through our online employment services or directly in person at your local WorkBC center. You're going to log in or register by creating a BCE ID. You're going to go through eligibility, and once you've completed the appropriate application and uploaded your documentation, a WorkBC representative will contact you within 1 to 2 business days. Now that we've touched on those services a little bit, we just want to dive into more depth into apprentice services, which are applicable for those who are attending the trades. So WorkBC Apprentice Services assists individuals with services and supports in order to help them access their apprenticeship trades technical classroom component of their training and ultimately achieve journey person status. For eligibility for the services, you can apply if you're an ITA registered apprentice who meets EI eligibility, is an active EI claimant receiving EI benefits, or if you've actively received EI benefits within the last 5 years and who has any of the following: an employer sponsor, a union hiring hall sponsor, an Indigenous Skills and Employment Training Program ISET sponsor, or they're an unemployed pre-existing ITA registered apprentice who either one is unemployed and is attached to their employer sponsor, but does not have a specific return to work date when they are requesting financial supports, or they're unemployed and without an employer sponsor, but they have an active ITA apprentice registration at the time of requesting financial supports. So to be able to learn more about any of these services as well as the eligibility, you can visit that link below at the end. But to look into more detail about what these services provides in terms of supports. So firstly, there's the opportunity for living supports, which are there to assist with basic living expenses like food, shelter, and utilities. There's also dependent care and childcare expenses, which help support any new costs that are being incurred as a result of participating in this training. There's commuting costs for daily commuting to and from the training location. And there's also the potential for supports for travel costs for relocation to a temporary residence while in training at the beginning and at the end of training. Additionally, beyond these supports listed, there's also disability-related costs that can be covered, which would be new costs as a result of participating in the training. And lastly, living away from home costs in order to maintain a temporary residence during your training. In terms of applying for this, you're going to begin with your step 1, which is completing the WorkBC Apprentice Services application. You'll need the items listed below in order to complete this. And once you do, you're going to receive a 16-digit EI reference code, which you'll utilize to complete the second half of your application, where you complete your EI application. For any specific questions related to either apprentice services or EI, you can call or contact the numbers below. And once again, there is all of that information online as well, which we will link to you towards at the end. Last, just a final component before we pass it off to Vika, we'd love to showcase to you the online resources and career profiles that are provided through WorkBC on the provincial website. So an amazing resources provided by WorkBC is they've cultivated together industry job boards. So some of you may know many professional organizations will have their independent job boards to list their opportunities. So we've showcased here below the ones that are utilized for construction and general trades. These are really great resources when you move into the stage of looking to pursue your occupation, and it's a great place to start. For the index of complete industry job boards beyond just trades and construction, you can also visit this link at the bottom of the page here. Once again, please feel free to take a screenshot of this page, but we will send out these resources at the end as well. Another great area of WorkBC's provincial website is where they list career profiles. Underneath these career profiles, they also identify positions which are defined as high opportunity occupations. WorkBC goes about identifying these positions by answering 4 key questions. Number 1, how many job opportunities will be available, referencing the number of job openings and the strength in employment growth? How easy will it be to get a job in the future, utilizing forecasted labor market tightness? How easy is it to get a job now, utilizing most recent unemployment rates? And how much is the wage, referring to employment income? So what you can see here is that construction managers have been identified as a high opportunity occupation. Additionally, beyond the high opportunity occupations, construction millwrights and industrial mechanics, as well as construction trades helpers and laborers, have also been identified as top demand trades occupations by the Labor Market Outlook of 2023. So you can visit this link at the bottom in the pink box. This is just going to showcase alphabetically all of these different career profiles. So we pulled together the ones that are in construction, but there are far more exploring all the different aspects of the trades. And this is a great resource to go to when you're looking to evaluate what potential role you might want to pursue. Lastly, touching again on top demand trades. So according to BC's Labor Market Outlook in 2023, various industries are expected to have over 85,000 job openings in the skilled trades over the next 10 years. And you can see listed below by job opening projections for the next 10 years, the top 15 trades with the largest numbers of job openings. The link at the bottom right corner of this page is going to take you to this full listing of all of these positions, from which you can navigate into the individual career profiles of each one, where you can learn more about these trades, including their education, their training, their qualification requirements, annual earnings, the annual employment growth rate, but also more things like your job duties and what skills are typically employed in each of these roles. Lastly, just to finish off here, we just want to showcase to you all an upcoming event that we have in the beginning of December, Mental Health Over the Holidays. So we'll be putting on a free virtual workshop with Bridges for Women Society, as well as Men's Therapy Network, to showcase strategies and techniques for working through the holidays in order to have your happiest and healthiest holiday season. And this can be, you can sign up on Eventbrite, utilizing the same place where you signed up for today, but it'll be a great opportunity to explore resources that are available to you. Our contact information here, if you'd like to know more about any of the services that we've discussed today here, you can call us, you can come in person. You can also utilize our websites to learn more, or feel free to send us an email as well. And I haven't been checking in on the questions here. So if anybody has any questions now, just specifically about WorkBC services or anything that we've listed here, I'm happy to answer those now, or we can touch on them at the end. Amazing. I think I will stop sharing now, and I'm going to pass it over to Rory from Vika for the bulk of our presentation. Thank you so much, everyone.
Super. Thanks for that preamble, that warm up. It's my pleasure to be here today and to join you for this conversation. I'm also privileged to have Jessica Bonney, our Manager of Education, with us, and we'll kind of tag team a little bit of the information we're going to present. So I'm just going to do a share screen. Everybody can see, hopefully you can see my web page. All right, I'm just going to do some reorganizing here. So again, thank you for inviting us today. I thought I'd take a little bit of time and spend a little bit, talk about what Vika is, talk a little bit more of what the industry is, kind of create hopefully some sentiment of value for you to understand the why. Why would you be looking at the trades? Why are you getting into construction? Kind of what's in it for me? And I think that's a fair question that anybody should be looking at. There's a ton of resources out there as has been presented to assist you in getting into this journey. And, you know, as I've said in the past, construction can be a funny thing. Well, you know, pursuing a trade craft is a funny thing. And, you know, if you think about it in terms of Hogwarts and, Harry Potter, you know, the stairwell that goes up, and, you know, everybody thinks in their career progression of taking a progression of that ascension to success. You're always going on a stairway. But what happens there is you get to a platform and the stairway changes and goes off into another direction. It's still going up, but it'll take you in a direction you may not think of when you get, you know, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. I think that's the best part about this industry is you kind of know where you need to start, but you may not know where you're going to end up. But it'll end up where you need to be. So I like using that as a bit of a warm-up for the conversation. As far as VICA is concerned, we are one of the longest standing construction associations in Canada. We've been around for over 115 years. I've been with VICA for, I'm in my 7th year. I come from the industry. I'm a project engineer by training, project manager. I started as a project, working for an owner as a project coordinator. When I talk about that stairwell changing, here I am at VICA having no lens 20 years ago that I'd be doing what I'm doing now. And it's all great. I love what I do. But what we do here at VICA, we do it in the context of a bigger family. We are part of a network, a national network, if you would, with the Vancouver Island Construction Association, just being that. We have a mandate to serve the Vancouver Island, the Sunshine Coast, and the Gulf Island communities. We focus on what we call the ICI sector, the institutional, commercial, and industrial sector. That doesn't mean that we don't get involved in housing or single-family housing, home builders, but we really focus on the bigger projects. And our membership is reflective of that. We also provide a suite of education, of resources, of supports that serve the construction sector as a whole. When I talk about VICA being a regional construction association, there are 4 regions in BC, Vancouver Island being one, the Vancouver Regional being the other, Southern Interior, and the North. So I don't want to say we're kind of like the McDonald's, but when you come to us, you get a sense and a flavor of, I can kind of see how we all sing from the same song sheet. We kind of portray and we convey benefit and service the same way. But we're also part of a bigger picture. And when we think about that, we're part of the BC Construction Association. And the BC Construction Association is really there to serve the provincial mandate. And they take more of an umbrella view where we think regional, they take a provincial. But it doesn't end there. We work to the Canadian Construction Association. They're really taking that national lens and thinking about how is our industry being impacted or affected on a national scale. And we all work together. You know, we're all trying to do the same thing. We all want to look at making sure people are employed. We want to look at, you know, trying to make sure that the rules around construction are fair. We get involved in trying to make sure that processes are fair. That's what we do. And we do that with the interest of our company members, but that's also the workers. We want to make the construction sector an attractive, a lucrative, you know, we pay really well and a great place to work. So what we do with VICA, you know, I talked a little bit about some of the bigger things and elements that we do. Our goal kind of falls down to a couple of points. We want economic stability. We want prosperity in the construction community. We want to promote a greater understanding of the industry, you know, and having good policy, having good processes around how construction is levered. We want to promote the industry and the excellence that we pursue, particularly when we want to attract new people to our industry. We are hungry for people. Let's not kid ourselves. I went through a couple of different trade crafts you could pursue. There is a lot of opportunity in this. We want to promote fair, open, and transparent and ethical standards and practices when it comes to the construction sector. We work with programs such as Builders Code, and I'll showcase that a little bit with BCCA. That is around, creating good behaviors. That's not about building code, it's about Builders Code. It's about how can we treat people with respect? How can we be mindful of how we are welcoming people into our sector? Of course, our vision is simple. We want to have a better construction community, and our mission is really to advocate everything we can do to foster a resilient and a prosperous construction community. With that comes a lot of different opportunities. And the question that I kind of look to when I think about construction is I think about the why. Oops, sorry. And I gotta figure out how to change my page here. I've got a header here that won't allow me to do that. Oop, sorry, my bad. I thought I had this system all figured out.
Can I help, Rory? Are you looking for something specific?
Yeah, I've got the BCCA, I had the BCCA page that I wanted to,
Sure, if you stop sharing, I can navigate to it if you like.
let me do this. Go like this, and then. There we go. Now it's back up. So this is kind of a roadmap of what the construction sector in BC looks like. And, we kind of promote ourselves on a number of fronts, but one of them is we're the number one construction, where we rank, construction ranks as one of the number one employers in the BC goods sector. If you're looking for employment, this is a great number. Sorry, my screen is over here. This is a great number. It is demonstrating opportunity in my mind. We produce, we have about $166 billion worth of construction in the projects in BC, with another $170 billion in the hopper. Like, if you can't think there's work around those numbers alone, you're kind of like, you should be trying to find an opportunity in all of that. 10%, BC ranks about the highest in the nation when it comes to its GDP. We contribute, the national average is about 9.5%. We're at 10%. We're outperforming the national GDP when it comes to the percentage that our economy contributes to the provincial economy. We rank number 4 in labor productivity, number 2 in labor product. We're up higher than the national. And we're 18% of the shared value added to the national economy. And for BC to present these kind of numbers are very strong. A couple of the work trends that I think are really important when we look at what and how things are progressing is when we look at, there's a couple of numbers in here that are really important. Notwithstanding the GDP, but let's think about what does it mean for you as a person looking for work. We're not bringing in enough workers. We have people who are retiring, and we have people coming in that are interested, but we're going to be short probably close to 10,000 people in the next 10 years. In fact, the number is anywhere between 5 to 10 years. We're going to be short 10,000 workers in this province. Our average wage coming into the game is about $72,000 a year. Now that's getting through some training, that's getting outside of your apprenticeship, but you can really hit the ground running with a very, very solid earned living wage. And in this province, that's really important. We also see that it's growing, and that's a function of demand. It's a function of the amount of work that's going on, and to get that work done, companies are paying top dollar for good skilled labor. We're starting to see the number of jobs going unfilled going down, but we are experiencing some headwinds now in construction. Projects are a little slower to move, but we still have a really high demand when it comes to the people that we need looking down the pipe. And of course, we want to get down to, this number at the bottom is really important to us as an agency. It's the number of women that are in the trades. We've been revolving around the 6% for the last, I'd say the last 10 years. There's a lot of opportunity for women to get engaged in our construction sector. There are programs, there are efforts at school and trade schools to really welcome women into the trades and let's get that, and we want to get that number up. So, and then when we think about the bigger family with what we do is these numbers represent a very strong economy. So it conveys back to job opportunities. There are different opportunities in the province at any given time. You can be trained as a carpenter here. You can go anywhere in Canada with that. You can be trained as a millwright. You can go anywhere in Canada with. So the portability, the ability to embrace a trade and say, you know what, I want to put my time in here, but I also want to go somewhere else. That's there. That said, I'm going to say we want to keep you here. Like we want to keep our tradespeople here. So that's really the, you know, that this one bulletin here, we call it our BC Stat Pack. You know, I think really gives emphasis to the why. Why are we doing this? Why are we trying so hard? Because we kind of have to. We have an industry that has to be served. Okay, give me a sec. And we'll go back to my other page here. So the one thing that that we talk about with VICA is, we are a membership association. Where our success, our energy, our power is really on the membership that we have. We have about 500 members, almost 500 members on Vancouver Island, Sunshine Coast, that support us. And that really drives everything that we do. We develop programs to serve the industry. We kind of create opportunity around a whole bunch of different things and try to develop education and supports that really serve membership, that serve you as somebody who's coming into the trades. It's one thing to be trained up as a trade. It's another thing to maintain those skills and to grow. And I think what I wanted to do is, on our website, I had done a PowerPoint, but then I was like, well, I'm going to use a lot of this anyway. And I just wanted to maybe take us through a little bit of a journey using our website as a guide. And we kind of go through elements of these, what I presented here of what the membership is. Who are our membership? Our membership are everything from trade contractors, who many of you may work for, to general contractors, who many of you may work for, to consulting firms, to accounting firms, to legal firms. All of those agencies that are there to support the construction sector are part of the Vancouver Island Construction Association. We also provide benefits to them. We have member-only events that only members can get, and that's important because it does allow us to invest in our own membership body. As we move through these columns, we go into our training. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to turn things over to my colleague, and Jessica will take you through our education and training and talk a little more about that.
Thanks, Rory. And thank you to Maya and Brianna for having us here as well. Our education initiatives are really intended to be part of your career journey. So, Rory said at the beginning, career paths aren't straight. I didn't come into construction thinking that I would ever work in construction necessarily. I came from an arts background and I found I really liked working on projects. And then I really liked education, and that's how I ended up here. And I have the ability to serve a really awesome industry with a lot of different stakeholders that are all involved at making projects move forward. So what we do with education in our education department, we want to advocate, we want to connect, and we want to educate. And so we have different pieces that serve that for wherever it is you might be within your career journey. So folks that are either entering the workforce for the first time or looking at a career change. One of the pieces that Maya mentioned earlier was construction management as being a really high value opportunity within the sector, and that's absolutely true. We have courses for construction management that have to do with how projects are delivered. So right at the very top of things, when a bid goes out to tender, the contract and the shape of the contract is determined. And one of those pieces is construction management. And construction managers are those people that run the project ultimately, right? They go through the checklist to make sure each piece of the project is ultimately delivered. We have courses that'll teach you about how to go from the inception of a project all the way up to the final course delivery, and they're offered on a short scale. And so the reason why we have shorter courses is because they're made for working professionals or people that are looking to upskill to get back into the game for any number of reasons. I've chatted with the fine folks at WorkBC a couple of times as they've been placing people in new roles, and we're always happy to help support that with a learning plan that might work for you. So something that I like to do and I like to speak to often is it's a one size fits one approach, right? You're looking for something that will move you forward in your career. And I'm curious, actually, if we want to maybe have a show of hands of who's currently interested in transitioning into the trades or into construction. Feel free to use your little hands button at the bottom if you want to. Okay, awesome. We have at least one person. That's great. That's a good start. Couple of people. Fabulous. So there's a lot of opportunity. Of those couple of people, are you looking at trade contracting, or are you looking at more of like the project side of things? Hands for contractors? Hands for projects? Okay, interesting. Okay, so these are things to think about. So there's a lot of different pieces. Okay, I'm seeing someone has said they're into projects. That's great. So we've got project management courses that are specific. There will be over 2 days, and it'll be specific to construction projects. Things like planning, things like scheduling are all really important. And a piece that I would just mention, as you start to work on those credentials, when you go through VICA as an education provider, we offer credentialing for longer term. So it's called Gold Seal, and it's put together by our national partner, Canadian Construction Association. But all of the courses that we offer within there's an hour component to that, but for the most part, most of the courses that we offer have Gold Seal credits that will then turn into a credential for you later on as part of that. Yeah, thanks, Tom. You're doing great with the Zoom. Just noting that I'm seeing folks interested in contracting as well. And so we're actually, if you're interested in the trade contractor side of things, we also have courses on site leadership that might be of interest to you as you move forward. Great for anybody, because you start to learn how to lead a team, how to be part of a team. Yeah. So I kind of got off track there in terms of talking about our education components. For folks that might be new to construction or new to the workforce, we also have another education component called Construct Your Future. It's a bit different than our professional development pieces, but it's an awesome opportunity for anyone in the youth category, so 17 to 29, who might be coming into construction for the first time. This is an opportunity that pays you to train, and it also gives you the opportunity to get a bunch of the different tickets that might be useful to you. So your fall protection, which is super important if you're working on any job site, enclosed space, and you work with a cohort of like-minded people that are all kind of moving in that direction as well. You get the opportunity to do, at the very end, there's speed interviews, so you can practice that skill to talk to people that would be interviewing you in a construction situation as well. So great opportunity there also. Yeah, I feel like, Rory, I'm not sure if you want to jump back in, if there are other pieces of this. Oh, I've got one more thing to mention, actually. Speaking about BCCA, I know Rory had that BCCA's programs up. Something that might be of great interest to you is the Building Builders Mentorship Program. So this is a BCCA program. It's free, and the goal is to pair people that are coming into trades. So Pauline, if you're interested in contracting, this one might be a really good one for you. It's focused primarily on trades mentors and mentees. So they're looking for people that are either working in a trade already or looking at transitioning their career into a trade, and pairing them with a mentor that's already in the industry that can help them along their journey. We had an event last week where mentors and mentees came out. So if you want to talk about networking, there's always the opportunity with these kinds of programs or with education initiatives to come in and meet people that are in these organizations already that might be able to help you on your journey. So I that's really what I wanted to highlight, I think. Yeah, that's really what I wanted to highlight from my end as far as education goes, and also to just encourage you to reach out. If Maya or Brianna, if afterwards you want to offer my email address, I'd be happy to talk about our education's offerings in a little bit more detail with anyone who might be interested. Or if you're interested in a plan, if you know where you want to go, if you're interested in working on projects, I can give you the rundown on Gold Seal and what that project management designation looks like, what you should be kind of focusing on, because there is a set of competencies that you want to kind of look at as you're building your career portfolio as time goes on. Great.
Thanks, Jess. So, I think that, these elements of training and education, and, I kind of adopted a lifelong learning approach to, always try to be learning. And whether you're in an earlier stage or a mid stage or a later stage, we're trying to create some opportunity for anyone on the call today to kind of, maybe get some ideas. If you're not into construction for the long term, there are, construction is an excellent interim opportunity for people. You may be able to get placed at a let's say a non-skilled labor perspective, but you still get good coin. You can still earn a living. You can still have a reliable job to go to while you pursue your other employment ideas. So there's always that. When we look at so I'll just kind of bring us back on when we're looking at VICA again, back to what we do a lot of work on events. And, and this is really typical of really any industry association. We want to promote our industry, not just to ourselves, but everybody who kind of sees us. And whether it's we have a number of events that we do both for the public, for anybody to see or to come to. We have, particularly when it comes to training, but we do a lot of events like a Christmas luncheon, and we're going to have 500 people in a room that are going to network together and share ideas and share things that are happening. Even people that are maybe looking for work, right? They're saying, hey, I'm interested in doing a pivot and I'd like to learn a little bit more about your company. Events are great for that. And regardless of where you end up, if you in your specific industry have an opportunity to get engaged, this is a good way to do it. This is how you can support your own industry or the pursuit of whatever industry you want to get into in your own self-benefit. You get to learn who's who in the zoo. You get to meet other people in your sector. You get to expand your ideas of what's going on. It's a really good opportunity for anybody that gets involved. And this is what we do. Is it's really important for us to have events for members, because they do want to meet other people. It's really important that we showcase what we do. We have an annual awards, where our members get to, get presented as, here's the good work that we're doing. We do a lot of work in the advocacy front. You know, advocacy is probably one of the pillars, it is one of the pillars that we as an agency bring the collective voice of 500 members to, you know, to a government agency, and here's how we see things. It helped us through COVID. It helps us through financial crisis. It helps us through economic downturns. It helps us with agencies that may not be following the rules. As an industry association, our job is to really support everybody and everything in construction. We work across all levels of government. We're not just union or non-union. We're, as VICA is agnostic. We are labor agnostic. So it's not about who you work for. It's about what are you doing and making sure that the industry is presented well and that the industry has open, and we use a term called fair, open, and transparent access to projects. We do that right across the region. All of our partners do it, and we do this on a national scale. When I talk about our partnership with BCCA, they deal with it on a provincial level. Canadian Construction Association deals with it on a federal level. But, you know, for Vancouver Island and the South, you know, South Vancouver Island, you know, our federal work it's quite robust. We've got a lot of work happening at the base. Provincially, we're the provincial, you know, the provincial capital. So there's obviously a lot of provincial work that happens. And this can really transition itself into a lot of work. And this creates a lot of work for us as well. Jess talked about our Construct Your Future program. And again, it's you know, we like this program. It's funded by the government. You get paid to learn. You know, if you're looking to get into the trades, but not, you don't have to stay in the trades, but maybe just want to work, we're going to give you some skills so you can at least show up on a job site, particularly a larger one, and have an idea what's happening. I feel like I'm not a deer in the headlights on day one. That's really a good benefit of our program. We have another program that we support called Bid Central, and this is, I'm going to glance over real quick. It's basically a bidding platform for anybody that wants to put projects out there. This is one that we use as an industry to, you know, get projects in front of members so that they know what and how they can bid jobs. That's the cornerstone of what they do and how we kind of get work in this business. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about resources. And resources, I think, is the other element that you know, we like to think we do really well. It's our job to bring information to our industry. We often are seeing things before our industry can see it, in a sense that our business, you know, our members are so busy working, they may not understand what new regulations are coming down. What are the, you know, we've created an HR guide. So if you are working for a company that doesn't have HR policies, then they don't know where to start. If they're a member, they can call us up. We'll give them a guide. They take out our, you know, our logo, put their own in, and they can tailor it. It's done. That's the kind of things that we do that we think we can advocate and support all those in our sector. We also do a lot, you know, we have publications. We do a lot of work with contract documents. There's a number of business magazines that we publish and that we support on an annual basis. And our big component is contract documents. So anytime you're working with a contractor, we use something called, there's a Canadian Construction Association documents, and there's the Canadian CCDC documents, which really are a mainstay of the contracts that we use in this industry. We put a lot of energy into this. When you get it, you know what you're getting. There's no surprises, and you can either say it makes everybody happy, you know, there's a balance to it, or, you know, a good contract, either both are happy or both are unhappy. That's a good contract. If you have one or the other, that's not a good contract. So we try to create balance in our contracting. And with that comes, you know, all the supports that we would give. We do a lot of training around this as well. So you know, Jessica, how many courses do we give in any kind of year? Like almost 100 or?
We've got close to 100 and, well, probably more than 150, just over 150 courses that we run cyclically. So it'll be quarterly or annually or biannually. And a good chunk of that have to do with our contracts. And so when we talk about the contract document store, this is where you find the contracts that absolutely everyone is using. And then the education piece of that is learn how to use them. This is really, really important for people that are into projects, people that are into construction management, anyone that's working in the ICI sector. So on a larger project, for the most part, you're going to be using a CCDC or a CCA contract, and knowing how to use them and what the potential supplementaries. So every contract's a little bit different. How those contracts are shaped a little bit differently is really, really important in the success of your business. Maybe you're starting your own business. Maybe you're wanting to be a trade contractor. You're going to need to know the CCA2 contract if you want to work on larger projects, right? And so that might be an angle that your career takes. And having access to the contract document is super important. And then knowing how to use it is also super important, or how it might be getting used on projects that you're on, whether or not you know that it's in play there, right? So really
great.
important.
I'm just going to flip back a little bit, and I'm going to bring this thing home. So there's a few other things that that VICA does that supports our industry. One of them is we have a project called the Tailgate Toolkit Project. And the Tailgate Toolkit Project, we started this about 5 years ago. It is an initiative that brings awareness around the opioid crisis that we're facing. So anybody that's working in construction, we know that construction is disproportionately affected by the opioid crisis. And that's probably a symptom of, we have a similar demographic. Males, 19 to 54, they have some level of income. There's a number of issues that can correlate itself to people having addictions or substance abuse. It's not there to be a therapy. It's really to create awareness for a construction crew or a team to say, hey, if you have some issues, and you don't have to disclose it, but here are some resources you may want to look at. Here are some things that you can do to get some assistance. So this program, which is funded by the Ministry of Health and Addictions, we run this program throughout the province. And anywhere you work in the province, we will go to that site and do the Tailgate Toolkit talk. It is designed for construction to, we have trained social workers giving it. It's available anywhere in the province. And if you do or work in a construction or trades or transportation sector, you can think about, where can I get resources? And heck, if you're on this call and if you yourself know somebody that might need a little bit of help, check out our resource page. There's a lot of resources that we have that you can find by region, particularly for Vancouver Island. And then the other part that I wanted to share was, when we look at what we're doing as far as construction, we have a number of bursaries that are available. So we, on an annual basis, do provide funding if you're attending Camosun, VIU, or North Island College. If you want to pursue the trade and you need, you want to apply for some funding, it's really available and accessible to people. Make the application, and you can get, I don't know, anywhere from $500 to $1,500 for your school. We've started a new initiative called our women's. We have a women's PPE grant, where we are focusing on accessibility and access for women in the trades. One of the things that we've done this year is to create a PPE showcase. We started it this year with Camosun to showcase the safety element, the safety wear, and coveralls and things that are designed for women, so that you don't have a certain framework and you're relegated to men's sizes. That's a real problem in our sector. So we are now putting a conscious effort to promote PPE for women's sizing, and having it wear appropriately for the job site. We've had a lot of support. If you are working in the trades and you need to put in you're just starting, you may not be able to afford coveralls and work boots and things that you would otherwise buy. This is a great place to start, to say, hey, I need $500 to go and get myself a pair of Carhartts and good boots. That's what we're looking to support. So those are the elements that VICA has been doing for the last 110 years to try and, not only grow, but celebrate all things construction. And I did have one more element. The final thing I'm going to leave us with is some of the work that we do in our networks. And for VICA, we have not only do we have industry networks where we'll bring general contractors into the room on a regular basis and we talk about the issues. We have two committees that I think they do excellent work and they may be of appeal to you. One of them is our Young Builders Network. And our Young Builders Network has been running for about, I'm going to say about 11 or 12 years. It's a group of, we used to say it was the U40. If you're under 40 in construction and you're kind of looking to network and do all things construction networking, we had the U40. Well, as soon as you turned 41, people were feeling left off. So we've called it our Young Builders Network. And really, it's about young builders. It's young at heart. You can be older, but still coming to the sector and wanting to build relationships. This is a great network. And we have one in Victoria and in Nanaimo to serve Mid-Island. The second one is our Women in Construction. And the Women in Construction, again, this was a grassroots organization that started over 10 years ago, really trying to promote and celebrate all things construction for women. Talking about the barriers, talking about the opportunities, talking about, things that have, that really can help women pursue and be successful in construction. We partner with other agencies like the Women in Trades, that group is really about the women who are on the job sites. This might be a little more, our Women in Construction are more project managers, architects, more of the office leaning side, but we do collaborate with Women in Trades, which are those are the women that are in the trades. So all of those things there are there to advocate. Go ahead, Jess.
Totally. I'll just I'll pop in again and I'll just talk a little bit about WIC. One of the events that we did this year that was so fun was actually a women's PPE showcase. So it was a fashion show for women's PPE, because we traditionally, women haven't had proper fitting personal protective equipment. And there is a lot more variety and options now available to us. And with that, part of that piece is a grant that we now offer for women that are wanting to enter the construction industry and need to buy personal protective equipment. And it's a grant of, I believe, $500 per grant recipient that you can, if you're in the trades or you're moving into the trades, it is available to you if you live on Vancouver Island. So great opportunity there as well. And it's fun. It's women and women identifying persons are all welcome, as well as people that also support women. So if you want to be part of that network, it's a really great opportunity.
The last part I'm going to leave you with is we, through our partnership with the BC Construction Association, have a website called Talent Central. Talent Central is for construction. It's by construction. It's where, if you are looking for employment in construction, and it's new this year, we're getting more jobs posted there. But if you have a resume you want to upload, Works BC can help. They may direct in finding opportunities for jobs. The Talent Central is open to anybody to join, to put their names as resumes in, and we'll also, for members, we give this as free of charge. So they all put their jobs up there, and we'll have a little bit of we're starting to use more AI to kind of match employees to jobs. So that's really the last kind of component I wanted to share with you today. And that is the journey of VICA. And we're happy to have entertain any questions you might have.
Well, thank you so much. Firstly, just thank you so much, Rory and Jessica, for your presentations today. It was so great to learn all of the things that VICA offers, both your programs and your training and your education, but also your connection to other entities as well, and the different ways that you help support. Yeah, is there anyone who has any questions? Now we're just gonna do an open floor Q&A if anybody does have anything. But like Jessica touched on, so I'll get that information from you, and we will send a follow-up email following the session, most likely tomorrow. And that will include all of the resources that we've shared today, Jessica's contact information for any of your questions if you come to anything later after the session has concluded, as well as some of the resources that we shared about WorkBC Employment Services and Apprentice Services as well. But it seems like between what Vika has shared as well as WorkBC's Apprentice Services, there is so much opportunity both for training and education, but also funding in these places as well. So. Amazing.
Thank you to everyone for having us. It's a pleasure to be able to chat with you today, and hopefully we hear from you again.
All right. Well, thank you everyone so much for being here today. And I guess we will end our session here now.
Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Rory. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, and I will follow up with you in terms of your contact information as well.
Of course.
Okay.